Hello and welcome to Faithful Grace Studio. I'm Mindy. I'm the creator here at Faithful Grace. And today I'm going to be making some little pockets to use in junk journals. And I'm going to be using washi tape and some underpaper. And I'll explain the underpaper in a minute. Let's talk about what we have here. These were pieces of packaging. I don't remember what came in what, but as I dismantled a box that something came in. This I'm pretty sure came out of a light bulb box with like a LED light bulb in it. You know, it kind of sticks down in there. And I'm 99% sure that's where that came from. I don't have a clue where this came from. It's not exactly straight. I'm not going to worry about that. But I did like this hole, and it already has a little notch in there. So if you glued that to a piece of paper, it would make a fabulous little pocket. So we're going to do the same with that. And then this was a card that I think came out of this same box, this light bulb box, that I just punched. I've got a big punch like that shape, and I just punched that flower out of there. And so it's a little thicker at the bottom, a little wider at the bottom, so it's kind of weighted. Placement is weighted, and it's not exactly in the center, but I think till I get it on a page somewhere as a pocket, it won't matter. So we're gonna make these three. Got some glue here, got some washi tape. For some reason I ended up with all of these that kind of have butterflies on them. I think a couple of them, these two might even be the same. Those three might be the same roll. I don't know. I don't know how I ended up with so many, but I'm going to do one that's with these, some of this. I don't know which parts. So we'll do one that's got butterflies on it. We're going to do one with this wide. It's beautiful, but it's wide, and I don't use it very much. I've had it forever, and if you use washi tape very much, you know the longer that it sits there, the more difficult it is to get it loose, and the less like it is going to stick to something else. So I want to go ahead and use it before it gets too old, and it might take me a minute to pry it up, but we're going to use that. And then I've got some bright funky colors that I don't use very often at all in my journals. This is just not the style of journals that I make, but I want to use these up, and some of the underpapers are kind of bright, so there's actually 6 little rolls, and I'll use some version of all of those maybe. All right, I am going to put down my trusty parchment paper. And then let's talk about my underpaper. This is a sheet of parchment paper that just has paint on it. It's got paint splatter on it. I don't throw these away when they get like this. If they start kind of losing their anti-stickness, because parchment paper is just, things don't stick to it. That's the whole point in it. But once it gets well used like this, that doesn't apply as well. Things will start sticking to it. If they don't stick to the actual parchment paper, they'll stick to the paint that's on it. So once it gets like this, I kind of just fold it up and put it to the side, and I'll use it for something else. But I think that there's some places in here that might be cute. Here's another piece of parchment paper that's got some pretty colors on it and some pretty marks from that paint. And then this is honestly my favorite one. This is an underpaper. This is a cereal bag. When we get cereal in my house, everybody knows that you don't throw the bag away and you don't throw the box away. Once you finish the cereal, you leave it, give it to me, or leave it on the kitchen table, and I will take it from there. This is a bag out of a cereal pack. These papers are fabulous for tons of different things. But one of the things that I use it for is things like this underpaper. I will spread it out, put whatever I'm working on in there, and then it doesn't matter if I get paint on it. I can peel it. It may look like it sticks. So like if I have a piece of canvas or a piece of watercolor paper or something right here, and I get paint around the edges, it may seem like it sticks, but it peels right off very easily. So it makes a great underpaper. And then once it gets all this stuff on it, and I really like the way that looked, I just folded it up, put it to the side, and got a fresh one out because I want to use this in one of these little pockets. So there's our 3 underpaper, and here's our 3 pieces that we're going to use. So I think the best thing to do is to put let's put the washi tape on first, because I think that will help us pick out what section or area of this paper we want to use. So I'm going to start with this one, and I think this is going to be, will this fit on both of them? That's not quite wide enough, but it'll fit on that one and it'll fit on that one. Okay. So that can go on either one of those. Easier to cut out. All right, let's do this one. We're going to use this, one of these butterfly ones for this. Now, if you use washi tape very often, you may already know this, but it does not stick the best. It'll stick now, but then it'll start curling up later. So I always put a little bit of glue down, or a little bit of glue down, just because I think that makes it stick better. So I'm just gonna put that down right there. All right. Now that we've got that down, get out my cutting board and let's trim off this excess. All right, that circle is harder to cut out than it looks like it would be. It'll be much easier on one piece of tape like that. But I'm gonna grab a glove real quick and just hit the inside of this circle with a little bit of ink. Not a lot, just a little bit. All right, so now we decide, I want this to be the top. So now we decide what we want to put behind it. I think some of these colors will be the best. Actually, That's pretty good right there. So I'm just going to take my pencil and mark that out. And because this is nonstick parchment, even though it has paint on it, it's not going to go very well with glue. So what I typically do, and I'm going to trim that up just a little bit more, so I've got some space around it. That's perfect right there. I'm just going to take a little tiny piece of, and just to hold it in place. And now I am going to put glue around the edges, but that's not all. I'm going to put a little bit of glue around the edges there, and now I'm going to put a little bit of glue around these edges, because now I'm going to put masking tape down on that glue. Oops, don't want to get it so far in that you can see it in the hole. Now, as you're watching this, if you have done something similar and you have found something that works better, by all means, please share that with me. I love washi tape. I love the feel of it, the look of it. I love how some of it's transparent, but it just does not stick very well in all applications. So you do have to kind of focus on making it stick. Now, I think that's precious. So now you got a little bit of a transparent look here. You got a hole, and we can glue that in a journal and have a nice little pocket. So we're going to let that one dry while we work on another one. Let's do the one that is going to be just one sheet, assuming I can get it loose all the way across without tearing it. That's where the challenge comes in, especially on these wider ones. When they get old, it's almost impossible to get a piece off that doesn't tear. Takes patience. All right, so we got it going. Look how pretty. Honestly, if it wasn't for the stickiness on the back, I would just leave that, I'd leave that hole right there. It's pretty like that. All right, I think that's really pretty. Not sure which one might. I think that's it right there. So we're going to mark, and then we're going to come in a little bit on the inside of that mark. So we have room around the edges like we talked about on the last one. So let's see, did that, actually we need to take some off of this side. All right. There we have it. How cute. Let's let that one dry while we make our last one. This one I think is going to be a little more challenging. Let's decide what order we want these to go in and if we're going to need all of them. So we're going to need all of them and maybe then some. Right? Yep. So let's go in this order. And then we can put this one on the second piece if we need it. So let's set those up. Last, we'll just put them in that order. There we go. All right. This is the bottom. There's a couple of little white areas that I think I don't want to kind of be shining. Not shiny, but sticking out because they're white. So I'm just going to hit all around the outside and the inside. Now, I like that. Now the fun part. Let's put our underpapers. I already put the other one up. There's one. Okay. Now the fun part. And I'm pretty sure I know exactly where this needs to go. Let me move some of this tape out of the way so that I don't get all stuck to the tape. I think it's going to be right there. Or right there. Oh, that might be it right there. Wait, this is upside down. But I want it that way. No. That's not bad. This strip's not big enough. Alright, I'm not sure that this is going to write on here, is it? Yeah, we'll be able to see it good enough. Alright. How cute is that? Then you can see it's transparent. How cute. Alright. We have 3 cute little pockets to use in a journal or planner or whatever you want to use it in. I'm just trimming this one up a little bit. There we go. Journal, planner. You could even put it on the outside of a package, like a gift, a package, present that you're giving somebody, and stick the gift card in there or the name card in there. You could use it, stick it on an envelope and use it as a gift card holder. I mean, there's just all kinds of things you can do with it. A few scraps, some washi tape, a little bit of glue, and some underpaper that would normally get thrown away. And you've got these precious, precious little pockets. All right, I hope you enjoyed watching that process and doing it along with me. And I hope you enjoy making your own.